All right. Get ready to dive deep, everybody, because today we're all about sweet wines.
Sweet wines.
We've got a whole stack of books, articles,
Oh,
even a table of contents from a Portuguese wine guide,
that's awesome.
all about these fascinating wines.
Yeah.
So we're going way beyond, just a simple definition of what makes a wine sweet.
Right.
We're talking history, science, the art behind it all.
It's funny because a lot of people think of sweet wines as sort of a modern invention.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like an afterthought, something for dessert.
Uh-huh.
But actually, it's so much older than that.
Interesting.
It's woven into the very fabric of, civilization.
Okay, now you've got my attention.
Yeah.
So we're talking, way back.
Yeah, way back.
Before dessert was even a thing.
Exactly. I mean, imagine ancient Egypt,
Okay.
where sweet wine wasn't just a drink, it was an offering to the gods,
Wow.
made from drying grapes under the desert sun, like liquid gold, symbolizing not just pleasure, but also the divine and the promise of immortality.
So it was like a ritual almost.
Exactly, yeah, a sacred ritual.
More than just a drink.
Yeah, for sure.
That's amazing.
And it wasn't unique to Egypt either.
Oh.
The ancient Greeks,
Yeah.
they were also big on sun-dried grapes.
Okay.
They even had this version with added grape syrup.
Whoa. Talk about a sugar rush.
Right. And then you have the Romans,
Yeah.
those emperors of excess. They took it a step further
Oh, how so?
with pasito,
Okay.
also made from these intensely sweet dried grapes.
Wow.
And get this, they even smoked some wines.
Wines.
Yeah,
What?
adding another layer of complexity
Wow, I never knew that.
to their already, pretty intense flavors.
That's incredible. The ancients were way ahead of the curve.
They were.
So smoking wine, that's fascinating.
Yeah, but what's really striking is how consistently throughout history,
Mm-hmm.
sweet wine was linked to higher powers,
Yeah.
to celebration, to abundance.
Yeah. It seems like it was more than just a drink.
It really was. It was a symbol woven into their beliefs.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So that history lesson was amazing.
Oh, good.
But before we, jump into a tasting,
Yeah.
let's break down the science behind it a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
What exactly makes wine sweet?
Well, it all comes down to sugar, of course.
Okay.
But not just any sugar.
Mhm.
We're talking fructose, glucose,
Okay.
and sucrose.
Right.
These natural sugars that are found in the grapes themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But the real magic of sweet winemaking
Yeah.
is all about how winemakers concentrate those sugars.
Right. Because the grapes themselves,
Right.
they're sweet, but not.
Yeah, not that sweet.
Yeah.
So how do they get them sweeter?
Yeah. What are some of the tricks of the trade?
Oh, they've got some pretty ingenious methods.
Okay, I'm ready.
So take pasas, for example.
Pass.
We saw it back in ancient times,
Right.
sun-drying the grapes.
Yeah.
It's still a go-to technique.
For concentrating those sugars
Okay.
and creating those intense, almost raisiny flavors.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So then there's noble rot,
Ah, yes. Noble rot.
which always sounds kind of gross to me.
I know, right?
But I know it's a good thing.
It is. It is.
So what is it?
It's Botrytis cinerea,
Okay.
or noble rot, as it's known among wine lovers.
Right.
It's a fungus,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a good fungus.
Okay.
In certain conditions,
Yeah.
it actually dehydrates the grapes,
Uh.
concentrates the sugars even further,
Mm.
and it develops these really unique flavors,
Yeah.
like honey, apricot, even ginger sometimes.
Wow.
So think of Sauternes,
Okay.
that luscious, decadent, sweet wine.
Mm.
That's noble rot in action.
So it's like a little bit of controlled decay
Yeah, kind of.
can create something amazing.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
Nature is amazing, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about ice wine,
Ice wine.
because that's got to be a whole other...
Oh, yeah. Completely
Yeah.
different.
Ice wine is all about harnessing the power of nature,
Mm-hmm.
literally.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
imagine grapes
Yeah.
freezing on the vine.
On the vine.
Yes, on the vine.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, in the dead of winter.
Wow.
And the water in the grapes crystallizes,
Okay.
leaving behind this super concentrated, sugary juice.
Wow.
It's like extracting the essence of the grape in frozen form.
So they let the grapes freeze,
Yes.
and then they press them.
And then they press them, yeah.
That's incredible.
It takes a lot of skill and a little bit of luck.
Yeah.
You need the perfect climate, the right grape varietals,
Mm-hmm.
and nerves of steel to wait for that perfect freeze.
I bet.
Yeah.
So, okay, ice wine, check.
Check.
Now, fortification, that's got to play a role, too.
Oh, absolutely.
In the world of sweet wines.
Fortification is all about adding a spirit,
Okay.
usually brandy,
Hmm.
to the wine.
Right?
And it does more than just boost the alcohol.
Okay.
it actually stops the fermentation process. It's like hitting the pause button.
So it locks in the
Oh, it
sweetness
locks in the sweetness.
before all the sugar turns to alcohol.
Exactly.
Clever.
Yeah, so you get those rich, complex flavors,
Yeah.
like important Madeira wines,
Right.
which are known for aging for a really long time.
Yeah.
Pretty much forever.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's late harvest,
Late harvest.
which seems pretty straightforward.
It sounds simple, right?
Yeah.
But there's definitely more to it than meets the eye.
So it's not just
Yep.
letting the grapes hang on the vine longer.
Well, it is that,
Okay.
but it's about precision.
Right.
You're waiting for those grapes to reach peak ripeness,
Mm-hmm.
maximum sugar development,
Okay.
and flavor concentration.
So the winemaker's taking a gamble.
It's a gamble.
Yeah.
You're exposing the grapes to weather hazards, potential rot,
Right.
but the rewards can be incredible.
It's like a high-stakes game of grape roulette.
Exactly.
So with all these different methods,
Yeah.
it really seems like the winemaker is the artist. They're the artist, they're the scientist, they're the
Right.
gambler, all rolled into one.
Yeah, they're manipulating nature and time.
Manipulating nature and time
Yeah.
to create these incredible sweet wines.
So, wow.
Yeah.
Now I'm ready to talk about some grapes
Let's talk grapes.
because we've got the history, we've got the science.
Right.
What are some of the stars of the sweet wine world?
Oh, there's so many.
Yeah.
So many incredible grapes that lend themselves to sweetness.
Okay, well, let's hear about a few of them.
We could spend hours talking about them all.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
But let's start with a few standouts,
Okay.
both white and red.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
So let's start with the white grapes.
Okay, white grapes. First up,
Yeah.
Semillon.
Semillon.
It's the backbone of those Sauternes wines we were talking about.
Right. Those luscious, decadent.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
got thin skin,
Oh.
which makes it susceptible to noble rot. Ah, so that's why it's so good for that.
Yeah. And when the magic happens, you get wines
Yeah.
bursting with honey, apricot, citrus notes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a blank canvas
Yeah, you could say that.
for noble rot to work its magic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Riesling.
Riesling.
That's a true chameleon.
Oh, how so?
Well, it can go from bone dry to lusciously sweet.
Wow, okay.
And every style is a reflection of its terroir.
Terroir.
Yeah.
You know, I hear that word a lot,
It's a big one in the wine world.
but I never fully understood what it means.
Basically, it's like a wine's fingerprint.
Okay.
You know, that special combination of
Yeah.
soil, climate, and winemaking tradition
Right.
that gives each wine its unique personality.
So it's like the same grape
Yeah,
can taste totally different
completely different.
depending on where it's grown.
That's exactly it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, now what about Chenin Blanc?
Chenin Blanc.
I always think of like those crisp, dry wines.
Yes, classic Loire Valley.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
France,
Yeah.
Chenin Blanc is a superstar there.
Yeah.
And it's known
Yeah.
for its bright acidity,
Right.
which, balances out the sweetness in those wines.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
Chenin Blanc also shines in South Africa,
Oh, really?
where it produces a whole range of styles.
Interesting.
From dry to decadently sweet.
So even within the same grape, you can have this incredible diversity.
It's all about the place.
Yeah, based on where it's grown.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else is on our white grape tour here?
Let's go for exotic.
Okay.
Gewürztraminer.
Okay, Gewürztraminer, that's a mouthful.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even the name is powerful.
Right.
And the grape delivers powerful aromas.
Okay, like what?
Think lychee, rose petals,
Whoa.
allspice rack.
It's like a party in a glass.
It really is.
Okay, last but not least,
Yes.
we got to talk about Moscato, right?
Moscato.
Mm.
The gateway grapes.
Yeah.
Moscato Bianco.
Okay.
With its delicate sweetness
Yeah.
and lower alcohol content.
It's kind of like a nice intro
Yeah, a great introduction.
to the sweet wine world.
Yeah, those fresh floral aromas,
Mm-hmm.
juicy fruit flavors.
Yeah.
Think peaches, honeydew, melon,
Okay.
a touch of citrus.
Okay, I'm taking notes for my next wine shopping trip.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about the white grapes.
Right.
Now, I know we tend to associate white grapes with sweet wine.
Yeah, it's a common association.
But red grapes can get in on the action, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Red grapes bring their own unique character to the party.
Okay, I'm ready for this.
All right, let's start with Touriga National,
Touriga National. Okay.
the powerhouse behind port wine.
Okay.
It's got those robust tannins
Okay.
and amazing aging potential,
Right.
which is why it's perfect for the fortified style of port.
So it's like locking in those...
It's like capturing those ripe berry flavors at their peak. And then there's Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir.
Now, most people think of Pinot Noir as a dry red grape.
Right.
But in the right hands, especially in the Alsace region of France, it can produce elegant, subtly sweet wines.
Oh, interesting.
Think red berry fruit with hints of spice.
Wow.
A real revelation for those who only know Pinot Noir from its dry side.
It's funny. I always thought of Pinot Noir as like this finty grape.
I know, right?
That only makes those delicate dry wines.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see its versatility.
Yeah, it's a versatile grape.
All right, what else? What else we got?
Speaking of versatility, let's not forget about Zinfandel.
Zinfandel.
Now, it's known for those bold, dry reds.
Right.
But Zinfandel can also make incredible sweet wines.
Okay.
Especially in California.
Really?
Think jammy fruit flavors, a touch of black pepper.
Okay.
And even hints of chocolate.
Zinfandel and chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds amazing.
It's a delicious combination.
Yeah.
And finally, we have Malbec.
Malbec.
Another grape most people associate with dry wines.
Right, Argentina.
Argentina, exactly.
Yeah.
But it also has a surprising sweet side.
Interesting.
Think floral notes, a touch of chocolate.
Okay, we're seeing a theme here.
Yeah, bit of chocolate.
Yeah.
And juicy, ripe fruit.
So these red grapes are full of surprises.
They are, aren't they?
It's not just about white grapes or dessert wines. There's a whole spectrum of flavors and styles to explore.
Exactly.
All right, so we've covered some serious grape ground here.
We have.
But it's not just about the grapes, right? It's also about where they're grown.
It's all about the place.
So let's take our case buds on a little trip.
Ooh, I like it.
And explore some of the key sweet wine regions around the world.
A virtual tasting tour.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, I'm ready for takeoff.
Fasten your seatbelts.
Okay.
Because we're about to embark on a whirlwind tour of sweet wine hotspots.
Okay.
From classic European vineyards to unexpected New World gems. I'm excited.
We'll discover what makes each region's sweet wines so unique.
Okay, let's start with France.
France, okay.
Yeah, like the OG wine region.
OG, yeah.
What sweet treasures can we find there?
France is a treasure trove of sweet wine regions.
Okay.
Each with its own distinct personality.
Got it.
Let's begin in Sauternes and Barsac.
Sauternes and Barsac.
Tucked away in the Bordeaux region.
Okay.
This is where Semillon and Noble Rot
yes.
come together to create those legendary, luxuriously sweet wines.
I'm picturing myself like sipping a glass.
I know, right?
In a beautiful chateau overlooking the vineyards.
It's the dream.
Yeah.
Now, if you head north to the Loire Valley, you'll find yourself in Chenin Blanc territory.
Chenin Blanc.
As we mentioned.
Yeah.
This grape is a master of versatility.
It is.
And the Loire showcases that beautifully.
Okay.
We'll find everything from crisp, dry wines to intensely sweet nectar, each reflecting the unique terroir of its subregion.
So it's like a playground for Chenin Blanc lovers.
For sure.
Okay, cool.
And then there's Alsace.
Alsace.
A region with a fascinating mix
of
French and German influences.
Interesting.
This is where Gewürztraminer really comes into its own.
Okay.
Producing those heady, aromatic wines.
Yeah.
They're like bottled perfume.
Yeah.
Lychee, rose petals, exotic spices.
It's like intoxicating almost.
Yeah, it is. It's a sensory overload.
Okay, France is officially on the bucket list. Now, what about Portugal?
Portugal. Oh, yes.
I'm dying to hear about the Douro Valley.
Douro Valley?
Yeah.
Where they make those legendary port wines?
Yes.
The Douro Valley is a sight to behold.
Okay.
Imagine steep, terraced vineyards.
Wow.
Clinging to the sides of dramatic hills, carved out by the Douro River.
It sounds beautiful.
It is.
Yeah.
This is where port reigns supreme, and the star of the show is Touriga Nacional.
Touriga Nacional.
Yeah.
So more than just a beautiful landscape?
Oh, it's much more.
Yeah.
It's the perfect storm.
Okay.
Of grape, climate, and tradition.
Interesting.
Yeah, all coming together.
Okay, and while we're in Portugal,
yes,
we can't forget about Madeira.
Madeira, the island that produces wines.
Yeah.
That are almost immortal.
Immortal. Okay. What does that mean?
Well, the unique estufagem process.
Estufagem.
Involves intentionally heating the wine.
Heating it.
Yes.
Interesting.
Which creates those nutty oxidized flavors that can age for Centuries.
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 Wow, some of those wines might be older than the U.S.
They might be. They might be.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
And then there's Setúbal,
Setúbal. Okay.
a region south of Lisbon, known for its Moscatel wines.
Moscatel. Okay.
This grape has a long and storied history in Portugal.
Okay.
And at Setúbal,
Yeah.
it produces fortified wines with intense aromas of orange blossom, honey,
Wow.
and spice.
Okay, Portugal's on my list.
Good, good.
Now, let's hop over to Italy.
Italy.
Yeah. What sweet surprises do they have up their sleeve?
Oh, Italy never disappoints when it comes to wine.
Okay, good.
Let's start in Tuscany,
Tuscany.
a region famous for its bold reds,
Right, right.
but also home to Vinsanto,
Santo. Okay.
a sweet wine made with sun-dried grapes.
Interesting.
It's a traditional treat,
Okay.
often served with biscotti for dipping.
Oh, I love biscotti.
Yeah, imagine those concentrated flavors of dried fruit, honey, and nuts,
Okay, yeah.
balanced by bright acidity.
All right, sold. What else we got in Italy?
Let's head north
Okay.
to Piedmont,
Piedmont, okay.
the home of Moscato d'Asti.
Moscato d'Asti.
It's lightly sparkling,
Yeah.
low alcohol wine,
Mm-hmm.
all about those delicate floral aromas,
Yeah.
refreshing fruit flavors.
Now that you mention it, I
Yeah.
do have a bottle chilling in the fridge. For research, of course.
Of course.
All right. Where else?
Let's go south
South, okay.
to the island of Sicily.
Sicily. Okay.
This is where they make Passito di Pantelleria,
Pasito di Pantelleria. Wow.
intensely sweet wine,
Okay.
crafted from sun-dried Zabibo grapes.
So we're seeing a lot of sun-dried grapes.
Yeah, it's a classic technique.
Yeah.
Imagine yourself on this volcanic island,
Okay.
surrounded by the Mediterranean Sea,
Mm-hmm.
the sun beating down on those grapes,
Wow.
concentrating their sugars
Okay.
and flavors.
All right. I'm adding Sicily to my list.
Good, good.
It seems like every sweet wine region
Yeah,
has its own unique story.
they do.
Yeah.
Each one is special.
Okay, speaking of stories,
Yes.
what about Germany?
Germany.
They're known for their Rieslings.
Riesling paradise.
Yeah, but what about the sweet side?
Oh, they've got a sweet side.
Okay.
Germany is a Riesling paradise.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to sweet wines.
Okay.
The Mosel Valley, with its steep slopes and slate soils,
Mm-hmm.
produces Rieslings
Yeah.
with incredibly delicate aromas,
Okay.
crisp acidity,
Yeah.
and this distinct minerality.
Interesting.
They often have this beautiful balance
Yeah.
of sweetness and acidity
Okay.
that makes them so refreshing.
So they're like, what, the ballerinas of the sweet wine world?
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
All elegance and finesse.
Elegance and finesse, exactly.
Okay.
And then there's the Rheingau region,
Rheingau. Okay.
just a bit south of the Moselle.
Okay.
They have a slightly warmer climate
Mm-hmm.
and more varied soils,
Okay.
which results in Rieslings
Yeah.
with a bit more body and richness.
Okay. So a little bit fuller.
A little bit fuller, yeah.
Okay.
They also have a unique classification system.
Oh, tell me about that.
They use terms like Spätlese and Auslies
The Spätlese.
Yeah.
Auslies.
to
Okay.
indicate the ripeness of the grapes
Okay.
and the sweetness level.
So if I'm looking for like a sweeter Riesling, I should look for those terms on the label.
Exactly.
Okay. Got it.
Now, before we leave Europe,
Okay.
we have to make a quick stop in Hungary,
Hungry.
home to Tokaji.
Tokaji. I've heard whispers of Tokaji.
Tokaji, the legendary sweet wine,
Okay.
often referred to as the king of wines.
Wow. The king of wines.
Yeah, so Tokaji comes from
Yeah.
a region in northeastern Hungary
Okay.
with volcanic hills
Interesting.
and a unique microclimate,
Okay.
perfect for noble rot.
So we're back to Noble Rot.
Back to noble rot.
Okay.
They use a blend of grapes,
Oh.
ferment, Harslivalu, and Sarga muscatali.
Wow. I'm going to have to write these down.
They're tricky ones,
Yeah.
and the resulting wines are incredibly complex,
Okay.
ranging from dry to intensely sweet.
Okay.
Think apricot, honey, ginger,
Okay.
a hint of spice.
Tokaji's on my list.
Good, good.
Now, we've explored so much in Europe,
We have
but what about the New World?
the New World, yeah,
Are there any sweet wine regions outside of Europe? Oh, absolutely.
that are worth exploring.
Tons.
Okay, let's hear about some of them.
The New World is full of exciting sweet wine regions
Okay,
that are pushing boundaries and experimenting with new grapes and techniques.
cool. So let's start where?
Let's start with the U.S.,
Okay,
specifically California.
California, okay.
They're known for their Zinfandel,
Right.
as we mentioned,
Yeah,
but they also produce fantastic Rieslings and Gewürztraminers.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
California's diverse climate and soils allow winemakers to create a wide range of styles,
Cool.
from light and fruity to rich and complex.
So it's like a melting pot.
It is a melting pot of sweet wines.
Okay, what else?
And then there's Canada. They've embraced their frigid winters to become the ice wine capital of the world.
Yeah, makes sense.
Their ice wines, mostly made with Vidal
okay.
and Riesling grapes,
Okay.
are intensely sweet and flavorful, with those characteristic notes of honey, apricot, and citrus. So it's like turning a challenge into a liquid gold mine.
Exactly.
Very cool.
Okay, where to next?
Okay, where else are we going?
Let's head down under.
Down under.
To Australia.
Australia, okay.
They're known for their bold, innovative wines. And their sweet wines are no exception.
Okay.
They're experimenting with a wide range of grapes.
Cool.
And styles, pushing the boundaries.
Like what?
Think late harvest wines, fortified wines.
Okay.
Even sparkling sweet wines.
Sparkling sweet wines. Interesting.
They're not afraid to get creative.
So they're like the rebels.
The rebels.
Yes.
Of the sweet wine world.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay. And to wrap up our tour.
Yes.
Where are we going?
Let's finish in Chile.
Chile.
They're a rising star in the wine world.
Okay.
And their sweet wines are gaining recognition for their complexity and freshness.
Interesting.
They're experimenting with late harvest wines.
Okay.
And exploring the potential of different grape varieties. So, showcasing the diversity of Chilean terroir.
Exactly.
Okay, so,
yeah.
Wow, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed.
I know, right?
By all these amazing sweet wines out there.
It's a lot to take in.
But before I run off to stock my cellar, I want to talk about how to actually appreciate these wines.
Yes, let's talk about that.
It's more than just like sipping and saying yum, right?
You're absolutely right.
Okay, good.
Tasting sweet wine is an experience that engages all of your senses.
Okay.
It's about sight, smell, taste, the whole package.
Right.
It's like unlocking a treasure chest of sensations.
Okay, I'm ready to unlock that treasure chest.
All right, let's do it.
Let's start with sight.
Sight, okay.
What should I be looking for when I examine a glass of sweet wine?
First, notice the color.
Okay.
Is it pale and youthful? Or deep and rich, hinting at age and complexity?
Okay.
The color can tell you a lot
Yeah.
about the grape variety, the winemaking techniques used, even how long the wine has been aged.
So it's like a sneak peek into the wine's history?
Exactly.
And then what? The viscosity?
Yes, viscosity.
Okay.
How does the wine cling to the glass when you swirl it around?
Okay.
This can give you a clue
Okay.
about the body and sweetness level.
So thicker wines tend to be sweeter.
Thicker, more viscous wines.
Okay.
Yeah, tend to be richer and sweeter.
Got it. So there's so much info packed into that first glance.
There is.
Yeah.
It's all about observation.
Okay, now let's move on to smell.
Smell, yes.
What secrets can we unlock with our noses?
Smell is the most evocative of our senses.
It is.
And when it comes to sweet wine,
Yeah.
it's a journey.
Okay.
Try to identify specific aromas.
Okay.
Do you smell fruits like apricot, peach, or citrus? Maybe floral notes like rose or honeysuckle?
Okay.
What about spices?
Yeah.
Cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg.
Wow. Never thought about breaking down the aromas like that.
It takes practice,
Yeah.
but it's so rewarding.
Okay.
And don't forget about the second nose,
The second nose.
the aromas that emerge
Oh.
after you swirl the wine
Okay.
and let it breathe a bit.
So swirling is not just for show.
No.
It's functional.
It's about releasing those volatile compounds,
Okay.
letting the wine's full aroma profile shine through.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, I'm a swirling convert.
Good.
Okay, now let's get to the main event.
Yes.
Tasting.
Tasting.
All right, so what should we be paying attention to?
Remember, sweetness
Yeah.
is just the beginning of the story.
Okay.
As you sip the wine, pay attention to the acidity.
Acidity, okay.
Does it balance the sweetness,
Yeah.
creating a harmonious interplay?
Okay.
How does the alcohol feel on your palate?
Yeah.
Does it add warmth and complexity?
Right.
And what about the texture?
Texture, okay.
Is it silky smooth,
Mm-hmm.
rich and velvety,
Okay.
or maybe syrupy and thick?
So it's like analyzing a piece of art?
Yes.
You're looking at the individual elements
Right.
and how they work together
And
to
together.
create the overall experience.
A great sweet wine is like a symphony.
Ah.
where all the elements come together in perfect harmony.
I love that analogy. All right, so we've learned how to appreciate these wines like
Yeah.
the pros.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but now comes the fun part,
Yes.
pairing them with food.
The pairings.
And I gotta know,
Yeah.
are sweet wines really just for dessert?
Absolutely not.
Okay, good.
Sweet wines are incredibly versatile
Okay.
when it comes to food pairing.
All right, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Let's start with cheese.
Cheese. Okay.
What are some classic pairings?
One of those iconic pairings
Yeah.
is blue cheese with port or Madeira.
Blue cheese and port, yeah.
The richness and sweetness of the wine
Yeah.
cut through the sharpness of the cheese
Right.
and the nutty, oxidized notes
Yeah.
of the wine
Yeah.
complement the blue cheese's complexity.
Okay, I'm drooling just thinking about it.
It's a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
What about other types of cheese?
Okay, what about like aged cheddar or something?
Aged cheeses, yes.
Yeah.
Like cheddar or Gouda,
Mm-hmm.
often pair well with sweet wines
Yeah, okay.
that have good acidity,
Okay.
like Sauternes or Tokaji.
Okay.
The acidity cuts through the richness of the cheese,
Mm-hmm.
and the complex aromas of the wine
Yeah.
complement the cheese's savory notes.
Interesting.
And don't be afraid to try lighter cheeses,
Okay, like what?
like goat cheese,
Oh, cheese.
with sweet wines
Mm-hmm.
that have delicate sweetness
Okay.
and floral or herbal aromas.
So there's a sweet wine out there.
There is.
It's for every cheese lover.
I think so.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
But cheese is just the beginning, right?
Cheese is just the beginning.
Okay. Sweet wines can also be fantastic with foie gras.
Foie gras, oh yes.
The richness and fattiness
Yeah.
are beautifully balanced.
It's a classic pairing
Yeah.
by the acidity and sweetness of wines,
Yeah.
like Sauternes
Okay.
or Tokaji.
So foie gras and sweet wine,
Yeah.
that's going on my culinary bucket list.
A good one.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the obvious pairing.
Dessert.
Dessert.
Okay.
What are some tips for pairing
Yeah.
sweet wines with sweet treats?
The key is to consider
Okay.
the intensity and sweetness levels
Mm-hmm.
of both the wine and the dessert.
Okay, so like,
You don't want one to overpower the other.
right.
Right. So for light, fruity desserts,
Okay.
you want a lighter, more refreshing sweet wine,
Okay.
like Moscato d'Asti or a slightly sweet Riesling.
Makes sense.
For richer, more decadent desserts,
Yeah.
like chocolate cake,
Mm-hmm.
you'll want a richer, more intense wine,
Okay.
like port or Madeira.
So it's all about finding that balance.
Balance is key.
Yeah.
You don't want the wine to overpower the dessert,
Right.
or vice versa.
Yeah, you want them to complement each other.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got cheese pairings.
Yeah.
We've got dessert pairings.
Right?
What about savory dishes?
Savory.
Can sweet wines work with those?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sweet wines can be surprisingly versatile
Okay.
with savory dishes.
Like what?
For example, a slightly sweet Riesling
Okay.
can be delicious with spicy Asian cuisine,
Oh, interesting.
while a richer, off-dry wine like Vouvray
Africa.
can complement dishes
Yeah.
with creamy sauces
Okay.
or nutty flavors.
Wow. I never thought about pairing sweet wine with spicy food.
It can be a really nice contrast.
Okay.
The sweetness of the wine can help tame the heat of the spices,
Yeah.
while the acidity can cut through the richness.
So again, balance is key.
Balance is always key.
This deep dive has totally changed my perspective
Oh, good.
on sweet wines.
Yeah.
I used to think of them as kind of a niche category,
I know, right?
but now I realize how diverse and versatile they are.
There's so much to explore.
I'm sure our listeners are feeling the same way.
I hope so.
But before we wrap up,
Okay.
I have to ask, what does the future hold
The future.
for sweet wines?
Ooh, good question.
Are there any trends or innovations on the
Yeah.
horizon?
The future of sweet wine is dynamic
Okay,
and exciting.
I like it.
Winemakers are constantly experimenting with new techniques,
Okay.
pushing the boundaries.
So what trends should we be watching out for?
Well, one of the biggest trends is the focus on terroir.
Terroir, yeah.
Just like with dry wines,
Mm-hmm.
winemakers are increasingly interested in
Yeah.
expressing the unique characteristics of their vineyards and regions
Right.
in their sweet wines.
So they're becoming more than just sweet.
Yeah, much more.
We're becoming storytellers.
They are.
All right, what else?
And then there's the trend towards lighter styles.
Lecture styles.
We're seeing more sweet wines
Mhm.
with lower alcohol content.
And more balanced sweetness.
So not all about that syrupy sweetness anymore.
Not at all. Okay.
Balance is key.
What about sustainability?
Sustainability, yes.
The big topic these days.
It's a huge topic.
Yeah.
And it's a major focus
Right.
in the wine world right now.
Mm.
And sweet wine is no exception. More and more winemakers
Yep.
are adopting eco-conscious practices in their vineyards and wineries.
So we can sip our sweet wines.
We can.
Knowing they're good for the planet.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
Okay, so what about technology?
Technology.
Is it playing a role?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Winemakers are using technology in really innovative ways.
Interesting.
To improve the quality and consistency of their sweet wines.
So give me an example.
Well, there's precision viticulture.
Okay.
Which uses data and sensors to monitor vineyard conditions. And then there are new winemaking techniques.
Okay.
Like cryo-extraction.
Cryo-extraction.
Okay. Which uses freezing temperatures to concentrate the sugars and flavors.
So it's like they're taking these ancient traditions and enhancing them with technology.
Yeah, taking it to the next level.
Very cool. And what about new grape varieties?
New grape varieties, yes.
Are there any, like,
there are
new kids on the block?
There are always new kids on the block.
Yeah.
Researchers are constantly developing new grapes that are more resistant to disease and climate change.
Right.
And some of these new varieties are showing real promise.
Interesting.
For sweet wine production.
So the future of sweet wine is looking pretty bright.
It is. There's a lot to look forward to.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
In our sweet wine journey.
A lot of ground.
We've explored the history, the science, the grapes, the regions, the tasting techniques.
The pairing.
The food pairings, even the future trends.
The whole shebang.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty inspired.
Me too, me too.
I hope our listeners are feeling the same way.
I hope so.
And for listeners who are ready to dive in to the world of sweet wines, what advice would you give them?
Don't be afraid to experiment.
Okay.
Start by exploring different styles and regions. Talk to your local wine shop owner.
Yeah, they're a wealth of knowledge.
They are. They love to talk about wine.
Yeah, or chat with a sommelier.
A sommelier.
At a restaurant.
They can guide you.
Okay.
Towards wines that suit your palate.
And I would add, don't be intimidated by all the technical terms and classifications.
No, exactly.
Just focus on what you enjoy.
Wine should be fun.
Eggs.
Pay attention to what you like.
Yeah.
The aromas, the flavors, the textures, and use that as a guide to explore further.
Great advice. And remember, sweet wines can be enjoyed anytime, any place.
Anytime, any place.
Whether it's a casual weeknight dinner or a special celebration. There's a sweet wine out there.
There is.
For every occasion.
I believe that.
All right. Well, this has been an amazing deep dive.
It has.
Into the world of sweet wines.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
And to all our listeners, thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
We hope you learned something new.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to share more wine knowledge with you.
More wine knowledge.
In the future.
Absolutely.
Until next time.
Cheers.